Hey Yogi, welcome to class. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rhi, this is Drake, and if you are returning, welcome back. We're glad to have you back on the mat with us again. For this vinyasa practice, you're not going to need any props in particular, and this one is just going to be about moving the body, building some energy, building a bit of heat. We're not really targeting anything in particular. It's just about moving any stuck energy, I guess. And if you're feeling a bit sluggish, like I have been recently, this time of year is always quite a sluggish time for me, then it's nice to just, jumpstart the engine a little bit. So with that being said, come to sit on the shins at the back, I guess, of your mat, the middle of your mat. And we'll just take a few breaths together here. Close down the eyes if that feels good to you, or just take a soft gaze. I always say, if you want to take a soft gaze, just try and look down towards the tops of your cheeks, just so that you can kind of draw your attention inward and not be too distracted by the outside. We're going to get right into it today. So before we do, we'll just take 4 deep, long breaths together. Nothing complicated, just simple breaths. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Deep inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest, feel your ribs just lift ever so slightly. And deep exhale. Everything goes the other way. The ribs will drop, the belly will go back towards your spine. Deep inhale, feel the rib cage expand, north, south, east and west. And exhale, decompress. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Nice. Blink your eyes open if they were closed. Sit up nice and tall. On an inhale, we reach the arms up and over. On an exhale, we'll cactus the arms, drawing your elbows down towards your hips, lifting your chest. Inhale, reach up. Your drishti will lift. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Sorry, Drake, I just hit him. And exhale, cactus. Nice. Come forward. Come onto hands and knees and take some wrist circles. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time slowing our way into this practice. We're just going to kind of get going. But before we do, we just want to find a little bit of fluidity in the spine, in the hips, in the neck, moving the shoulders, and most importantly, just warming up the wrists. So really grip into your mat and just transfer your weight across all 4 points of your palms, left to right, and then right to left. So circling, moving however feels good to you. Nice, and then from here, grip the mat. We'll take some finger push-ups. So you're going to come on to kind of like spidey fingers, as I call them. So all of your palm is lifted off the mat. You're just literally on your fingertips and your thumbs. And then you're going to push and lift. So little push-ups. We'll do 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the palms go flat. Keep the fingers flat, keep the thumbs down, and just lift the base of your hands. And lower. Lift and lower. Just stretching out there, that kind of where those fingers meet the round part of your hand. Lower, lift, and lower, lift, and lower. Nice. From here, taking a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chest, look up. As you exhale, grip the mat, push Chin to chest, puff through the shoulders, tuck your tail. Inhale through to cow pose. And exhale to catch. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. From here, feet tucked, lift your hips and come into downward facing dog. You might need to just pedal the feet here as if you're just walking, bending the knees, straightening the knees. Nice. Lengthen out this dog so you can roll yourself forward. On an inhale, bending the knees and pushing through into plank. Exhale, push back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale through to high plank. Exhale, push back. Roll through to plank. Exhale, push back. Roll through to plank. This time 1 or 2 push-ups. Feel free to drop the knees here so that you're nice and strong, and then drop your knees. Drop your forearms. Slide through. Upward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Nice. From here, lift your right leg nice and high. And then bend your left knee. Drive your right knee in. Roll forward. Right foot next to right thumb. Nice. And then come up onto your fingertips here. And then come onto the outside of that right foot. And just allow that right hip to open. Plug in your left hip back. So you're getting a nice kind of stretch here through that right hip. Feel free to pulse. Really draw your chest forward. Nice. And then from here, plant your left hand, all 10 toes to the right. Drop your hips and then reach your arm up and over, high horizon lunge. See how much you can scoop your left hip under you to lift your right. And then all 10 toes point towards the top of the mat, back onto your fingertips and open back through that right hip. So you're letting your right knee roll over to the right, keeping the chest lifted. And then plant the hands, step your right foot back to plank, 1 or 2 push-ups here, and vinyasa. Drop the knees, drop your forearms, come through, upward facing. Drop the knees in that push-up if you need to. And come into downward facing dog. Nice. Same on the left. Inhale, the left leg will lift. High on the ball of the right toes, deep bend of that right knee. Drive your left knee into your chest and drop your left foot down into this kind of high, low lunge. And then come up onto the fingertips. Let your left knee kind of just fall over to the left. So you're coming onto the outside of that left foot. It might feel nice to rock backwards and forwards, slightly with the back foot. Maybe bounce the hips a little. And then all 10 toes are going to turn to face the left side of the mat. Drop the left hip, right hip. Then inhale, sweep your left arm up and over. Lift your hips nice and high. High horizon lunge. Feel that right shoulder blade click underneath you for support. And then all 10 toes face the top of the mat. Open that left hip to the left. Take some bounces if that feels nice. And plant your left and right hand, step back, 1 or 2 push-ups, and then drop knees and vinyasa. Drop forearms, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Nice. Right leg nice and high, 3-leg dog. Bend your left knee, bend your right knee, travel forward. Right foot next to right thumb. And again, you can rock backwards and forwards, just opening up in this kind of elevated lunge here, or low lunge. Then come onto the fingertips and again, open up through your right hip. So you're just encouraging that right knee to fall out to the side. And it'll go, you know, as low as it's going to go. And that'll just depend on your natural range there, I guess, in your right hip. Nice. And then flatten to the mat with that right foot, all 10 toes to the right. Inhale, reach that right arm up and come into high horizon. So really reaching through the right fingers up and overhead to the top of the mat and lifting that left hip. All 10 toes point to the top of the mat, and then drop your back heel. Right hand on the inside of this right foot and reach that left arm up, turning through your chest, coming into this variation of Shavasana. Nice. Then from here, you're going to wriggle that right right shoulder underneath your right back of your knee and see if you can just take the bind here. So catching hold of your left wrist with your right hand, or just catching hold of fingertips. The wrapper is the grabber, so the left hand is free, the right hand is grabbing it. And then from here, slowly start to straighten. And just, it's relative, I won't go all the way straight here, but just coming into this bound Trikonasana. Nice. Then from here, release, come high onto the ball of the back toe. Fingertips frame the front foot, and we're just going to lift and straighten through that right leg, lifting the hips high for modified pyramid. You can fold over here if that feels nice. Don't worry about grounding the back foot. It's not what the aim is here. Nice. Rebend the front knee, step your right foot to meet your left. 1 or 2 push-ups with the knees lifted or dropped. And then Vinyasa. Meet me back in downward dog. Lovely job. Left leg lifts nice and high. Come high onto the ball of the right toes, deep bend of the right knee. Drive your left knee in, roll forward, left foot comes next to left thumb. Maybe push your back foot back a bit, or your right foot back a bit, and just rock here a little. Then coming high onto the fingertips, open that left knee out. Feel free to rock here. Feel free to move through your hips. Then plant your right hand, spin all 10 toes to the left. Reach your left arm up and over your ear on the diagonal. Lifting your hips, high horizon lunge. And then all 10 toes back to the front of the mat or top of the mat. Open the left hip again. See if it feels any more open now than it did the first time we tried this. And then all 10 toes plant down. Left hand on the inside of the left foot and turn your right heel down at an angle, roughly 45 at the bottom of the mat. Planting that left hand on the inside, reach your right arm up to the sky. Shavasana. Engaging through the glutes here. Feeling the inside thighs of both legs switch on. If you want to, you can deep bend of the left knee and then bend so that you can crouch down. Allow your left shoulder to go underneath you, and then just grabbing hold of, your hand, maybe the wrist, coming into the bind. If you want to, you can slowly work to straighten or relatively straight on that left leg. And then rebend the left knee, release the hands, plant them either side of that left foot. Lift your left toes up towards your shin, coming into modified pyramid pose. Plug your left hip back here for a deeper stretch on that hamstring, and if it feels good, you can fold. Rebend the left foot, plant the hands. Left foot meets the right. You got it. A single or a double push up, and then drop your knees, but back to your heels. Come through into upward facing. Exhale. Downward facing. Nice. Lift your right leg nice and high. Lift the left heel up. Deep bend of that left knee. Use it as your spring. Then draw your right knee in. Ripple forward. Right foot next to right thumb. Come into that lunge on your fingertips for a moment here. And then open that right knee out. So right hip opening here. And from here, we're going to lift the knee back in and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Just seeing if we can find a bit more depth here. Lift and lower. Nice job. Come back to center, all 10 toes to the right. Reaching the right arm up and over for high horizon lunge. And then coming back, we'll take some of those. We'll do 5 lift and lowers. So reach up, open, close, open, close, open, close. Nice. From here, lift or work to straighten that right leg as you lift the right toes up for pyramid pose. Feel that stretch there on the hamstring. And then rebend the right knee. Drop the left knee down. And then reaching back into Ardha Hanumanasana, so half split. So straightening or working to straighten the right leg. You can be on fingertips, you can plant the hands, whatever feels good. Whatever you're working on, just think about plugging that right femur, the right thigh bone, back into its socket here, and really grounding through that right heel into the mat. It's just going to help you fire up the leg muscles there, warming them up. Stretching and lengthening them. You can fold here deeper if that is something you like to do here. And then rebend that right knee, plant the right foot. The back toes are tucked, the back knee will lift. We'll find that Parshvanasana again. So left foot goes down, the right hand can plant on the inside of that right leg and reach the left arm up. From here, you can nestle that right shoulder underneath you and take the bind. If you're working on the bind, stay here. If you want to slowly work to straighten into this bound triangle, you're just working to be straight. You might not be straight at all. My leg is never straight in this pose because it's just too big really for me. So I just use what I can, what's available, and I just straighten as much as I can. Rebending, staying in this bind, or coming up to the top of the mat with your left foot. So you hop your left foot up once, maybe take 2 hops if you need to. Then come high onto the ball of the right toes, so much so that you could slowly start to rise up. Come into stand. This is a great place to stay, or you can work on straightening that right leg into full bird of paradise. Stand tall on that left leg. And then rebend. The right foot will plant. This is always the tricky bit, is getting that left foot back in one journey. And then release the hands either side. Come into a modified pyramid just once more, just to release that right leg a little bit. And then rebend the right knee, plant your hands, right foot steps back, single or double on the vinyasa. Drop your knees, drop your forearms. Come through into upward facing dog and then push back. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg nice and high. High onto the right toes, bend the right knee. Drive the left knee in, drop the left foot next to the left thumb. High onto the fingertips again here, find a little bit of depth. Maybe you feel a bit more open now. And then just open that left knee to open the hip on the left side. Stepping it back in and opening. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Linger here for a moment. And then plant that left foot back, all 10 toes to the left. Plant your right hand and reach your left arm up and over. Scoop your right hip under you to lift both hips as high as you can. High horizon lunge. Then all 10 toes face the top of the mat again. And we'll just open and close. Open. Notice on these open and closes if you feel any different now. Coming back to center, drop the right knee down. Coming into that Ardha Hanumanasana half split. You can lift the left toes towards the left shin. Scooping that left thigh bone back and into the socket. And really driving down, and imagine you could scrub back the left heel. You can fold over if that feels good. And then when you're ready, rebend the left knee. Lift the right knee off the mat. Left hand on the inside of the left foot and drop your right heel 45. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Turning your torso. Really press into the back of that right outer foot here. So if you can't feel it, you might need to lift up a little bit. You might just be a bit too deep. And then looking to take the bind here. So drop the shoulder. See if you can wrap your left arm underneath your left thigh. Remembering the wrapper is the grabber. And again, you can work to straighten into that bound Trikonasana. Rebend the left knee. And then here's the tricky part. Spring off your right foot. Come forward so your right foot meets your left at the top of the mat. High onto the ball of the left toes. Really plug the right big toe into the mat. And then slowly see if you can just come to stand a bit more gracefully than I did. And this might be where you want to stay. Or maybe you want to lift the left leg and straighten it. Standing nice and tall in your bird of paradise. And then rebend. Slowly drop left foot to the mat. And then work your way back into your bound Parsvakonasana. Release both hands either side of the front foot and take a nice, well, should feel nice, might feel nice, modified pyramid. Rebend the left knee, plant the hands, left foot meets the right. 1, or 2 push-ups. Drop your knees, drop your forearms, come through into upward dog. And exhale, push back, downward dog. Nice. Rolling forward into high plank. We'll lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower on 1 and tuck the toes. Take your hands into 10 to 2, again on your spidey fingers, and let the head drop to the mat. Hips are nice and heavy here. Inhale, slowly ripple up through the spine for oscillating cobra, lifting the chest. Exhale, rebend the elbows. Back down to the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. Arms alongside you. Inhale, roll the shoulders back and lift the feet, lift the legs, coming into Shavasana. Really draw your shoulder blades together, lift your heart. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down on 1. Make a pillow with the hands. Let the head fall to one side or the other. And then hands underneath the shoulders, push back into child's pose for a moment. A moment of integration here. So either dolphin pose, traditional headstand, or forearm stand, whatever you want to take. Whatever you're choosing, make your way there now. Be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower on 1. Drop your knees, sit onto the shins. Take a couple of breaths, readjust your t-shirt or your hair or anything that has been bugging you throughout that movement, whirlwind that we just did. We'll take one little bit of effort, I guess, before we wind it down here. So if you want to come towards the top of your mat, you can take crow pose, Bakasana. If that's something you're working on, great. Try and hold your crow for 10 seconds or even 10 breaths. Just keep working on that. If you want to try some transitions, then we'll go from crow to tripod. Maybe then coming into a pike. So find the crow, slowly send the knees wider so that you can drop the head down to the mat. Hug your knees in and then straighten the legs to come up. Then start to push your hips back to come into a pike. And then slowly drop, push up and vinyasa. Everybody comes into a down dog. So maybe you went crow, jump back to plank. Great option. And then from here, step or jump your feet in between the hands. Drop your heels, drop your butt, and find your way onto your back. Bring your knees with you. Whew, that was a real non-stop little energizing flow there. My breath was racing at some point and it was a challenge to bring it back to itself. Drop your feet to the mat as if you were setting up for bridge, and then cross your right ankle over your left and just feel a nice opening through your right hip. Might feel nice now that we did so many of those open and closes right at the beginning and through our flow. If you want some more, you're going to wrap your hands around the back or the front of your left shin and draw everything into you. If you still feel like you've got some openness you want to explore, then take your right foot into your left, kind of inside of your elbow crease. Straighten your leg and draw your right leg in towards you, and then drop that left foot long. That's just maybe gonna find some nice territory you want to explore. It might feel too much. If it does, rebend the left knee and maybe release the bind you've got. So just feel how this feels. You're not looking here for crazy stretching. You're looking to find a place where you think, yeah, I can ease my way into this hold. Start to come back to some regular breathing. Try and extend those exhales a little bit. And then switch legs. Rebend left knee. Swap the legs over, so bend your right knee, right foot flat to the mat. And take your figure of 4 here. And it might feel nice just to sort of push that left thigh away from you to open the left hip. And this may be enough. We're looking to ease our way into softness, not to kind of go full throttle. We've gone full throttle. Now we are coming down the mountain, if you like. We've climbed it, we went up it, we ran up it. And now we are just meandering down to home base. So, you know, this may be where you want to stop. Maybe you need a little bit more because you're not feeling enough of a stretch to kind of move into that position of stretch and then ease. And maybe you just finally want to pop left foot on the inside, the soft bit of your right elbow, and draw everything towards you, lifting through that right leg, straightening the right leg, flexing the right toes. And then dropping the right foot to the mat. When the foot starts to get to the earth, it might feel really intense on the outer left hip. So feel free to, you know, bend or keep the leg lifted wherever you want to find something here. Relax your jaw. Deepen your inhales and lengthen as you exhale. Rebend your right knee if your right leg is long and release your legs. It might feel nice here to take Supta Baddha Konasana for your Shavasana, which would be soles of your feet together, letting both knees fall wide. And just close down your eyes here. Wind down. Move away from the structure of the flow. And just come to ease, to stillness. You made it through the journey. You made it up our climb. And at times it might have felt a bit like Everest. It was very fast moving at times. And now you're at the bottom. You're at your destination. Stay in this Shavasana for as long as you have available to you. And once again, thank you so much for practicing with me. Drakey's disappeared now, but thank you for practicing us here on YouTube. We hope to see you on the mat soon.